What's good? And today we'll be talking about a notorious lolcow by the name of Axolip. Now at first, Axolip was known for his DC power scaling shenanigans. He went around debating different people and basically wanking Superman to be the strongest in fiction. In fact, he likes Superman so much, he claims to be him. Though that does seem to be untrue due to their vast difference. And you'll know exactly why by the end of this video. Now, as for his DC debating shenanigans, he got frequently clowned on because he kept getting debunked in debates and DC basically getting downgraded because of him while he was trying to get it upscaled on different power scaling wikis. More specifically the Powerscaling wiki. And this is where he began his journey as a lolcow. As a matter of fact, him getting DC downgraded got so bad that he had to go and beg another power scaler known as MJ, aka Monitor Michael, for help in DMs because of this. And I tell you, he begs people in DMs a lot, and you'll see that further on in this video. But oh, that's not the only person he DM'd. This guy went to DM John Mark DeMatteis. Basically, he went to DM an official DC Comics writer and pinged everyone in his server about it. Like the dude is actually going to respond. He really thinks that John is about to be like, "Oh yes, random Discord dude 4829. Let me settle this low tier debate for you." The funniest part is that he pretended that John responded, but we never heard from him about this again. Has he really been hiding these golden scans from us after all this time? I swear bro, some people treat comic writers like customer support for their horrible arguments. But of course, in reality, DeMatteis never actually responded. Of course he wouldn't. A side note for this dude, I actually remember debating this guy on Flash versus Hades. He conceded upon the debates. The full debate is somewhere on YouTube, but I think I might have to post it on my Odyssey as well for archival purposes. I posted the clip in the DC power scaling community video I made. And yes, this isn't the first time we talk about Axolip on this channel. At one point, he tried to make his own power scaling wiki just to jack off DC. And he actually paid a few people to build it, but obviously it died very quickly due to poor management. And he actually got mad because his staff weren't doing enough for the site. I'm pretty sure it got shut down afterwards. Which I found freaking hilarious, because how are you going to pretend this is the next big thing and that you're going to run on the Daily Planet but it's actually just 3 Discord mods copy pasting scans at 2 AM. Also, not only did he claim to talk to DeMatteis, he took it a step further and tried to claim he's going to make a deal with Joshua Williamson to make a Superman comic for $100,000 just to upscale DC. This Blood wrote this like he's pitching a scam crypto project too. Like the freaking send me your payment method so I can pay half now makes this even funnier. But I think you get the point about his power scaling history. After all that, it became pretty clear what this dude actually thrives on isn't logic, it's attention. And once people stopped taking his buffoonish power scaling crusades seriously, he low-key switched courses. That's when he wandered straight into Discord drama and packing. And oh boy, where do I begin here? Basically, he completely rebranded his server to Ends, and he basically made his Discord clan, which sounds really corny because, it is. People make Discord clans to beef on Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, these people are losers. The funny part is that he made the whole clan to try kicking up a shindy with me, dude. And he later renamed it again. Basically, he rebranded to Urine, which just sounds like urine but with a speech impediment, like literally just piss. But his back and forths with me during this time aren't exactly the most interesting parts, because he started to spiral even more than he did after discovering this niche of interest that he can just constantly attention whore in. One of the things he attention whores with and lies about is his physicality. Now, as you can see, this is his actual physique, not the most jacked guy you'd see, he's no Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? But he's one of the people who like to pretend to be He's some strong macho man who can totally beat you up and mogs every single one of us guys. We should be careful of this guy. Get a load of this tough dude, man. But let me give you an example. He pretended to be this guy, okay? As you can see, he thought he was slick, you know, calling himself the Iranian Superman and cropping this person's face, but unfortunately for him, here's where we caught him slipping up. Yeah, you're not him, buddy, and it should have been obvious since you have none of these tattoos, little man, and your face is different. He also tried to pretend to be this guy, which you're definitely not. We've already seen your physique and you're not built like this. But that's not even the craziest part, because there was one time where he tried to claim he could do 40,000 push-ups. Not 4,000, 40,000. I don't think he can grasp how much this is. This guy's life is one entire delusion quest. He constructs entire alternate realities where he's simultaneously Superman's publisher, the king of Discord gangsters, and the Navy SEAL Super Saiyan hybrid. Even after his own members said he couldn't, the dude said, "Oh, watch me do it tonight," and he never did, of course. He couldn't have done it even if pigs could fly. But then he has the gall to claim it depends on the push-up type, specifically knee push-ups, and even that is impossible. What kind of knee push-ups is this dude talking about? Freaking keck. Then the number magically drops to 800 when he mentioned normal push-ups.
Oh yeah, bro, I can't do more than 800 regular push-ups, but if you let me do my special push-ups, that's easy 4K, like 4,000. Oh, dude, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
You know, is he imagining himself doing push-ups in his mind? Or does he just count each inhale as a rep? Or is he just doing push-ups on the freaking moon? It's so bad for this guy, bro. But he not only faked his physique, he faked something much worse. And that's basically claiming human trafficking backstories, faking leaving Cord or the internet, faking having a brain tumor, and going as far as to faking offing himself on numerous occasions. I'll start with the brain tumor one. Here's him basically claiming that he has a really big and devastating brain tumor, and that it's highly likely that he's going to die, and maybe not even see him tomorrow. But pay close attention to the date. As you can see, it's 8th of November. However, 3 days after, he says that he's waiting for the answers for his brain tumor, and then when asked for some kind of evidence or diagnosis, he sends a freaking eye test measuring the retinal thickness, RPE deformation, and retinal deviation. And that's not even the part that proves he's talking out of his greasy ass. You can look at the bottom left in the image and see it's taken in 2024, which is almost 2 years ago. And the fact he didn't even bother to crop the date. It's like he's just waiting to get laughed at. You know, bottom left watermark shining bright here, you know. It's looking mighty good there. We struck gold, ladies and gentlemen. This dude really thought nobody would notice. Holy crap. Then there was this phase he had where he pretended he hated women for some reason, like some kind of incel dot is regular, right? Which he clearly doesn't. Here are some screenshots of him begging for a girl, you know, and then you can see the switch up here where he says that he's banning every female in his Cord. He obviously didn't. And here he says that his group aren't sexist but misogynist instead. Oh good, great, much better guys, we did it. He cracked the freaking code. You know, we can just be misogynist instead, man. It's brutal. You know, how do you say that with a straight face? You know, and he talks mad until he gets the faintest lick of female attention. Every time you think this guy reached the bottom of the barrel, he just pulls out another shovel and digs himself down to the core. And here's an announcement where he made up an entirely imaginary scenario and conversation in his head, answering questions nobody asked with a Superman slapping Wonder Woman comic panel attached. Because when reality doesn't give you W's, just rewrite fan fictions where you do get W's, am I right? And here I'm pretty sure he's bullcrapping because I've seen him be with multiple women. Anyways, to justify all of this during his phase, he decided to make up a backstory where he got sold as a kid by his mother to the iron market as a sex and work slave to other females. You can see very well that this guy is talking about himself, and Axolip didn't even bother to make it consistent. This trauma supposedly made him hate women, but he still begs women. That's a complete contradiction. To know that he made this up, he tried to immediately back out after I saw this and made fun of how fake it is by saying he wasn't even talking about himself, even though he said, "Wouldn't you be like me?" You can see that in the screenshot blatantly. Axolip exposed himself in the script he wrote for himself. That's how you know he wasn't expecting anyone with 2 brain cells to check what he's saying. He thought he was dropping some deep arc and got hit in his really big lip. No wonder he's named Axolip. Then again, he's claimed leaving multiple times and he obviously didn't. This was just a free ticket for attention. He does this occasionally along with faking his death. As you can see here, he displayed his old ass rifle for everyone to see, claiming he's going to do the deed and that there isn't going to be a single message after that one, which is obviously false. Then there's this one where he thanks everyone for the good memories and declares the new Axolip, claiming that the new place he's going to won't allow him to take these with himself, obviously insinuating something's bad going to happen. Then here's him talking to someone named Che, telling them to stay with him and that he's quote-unquote dying very soon, which he hasn't. Here's him saying that he's been taking drugs and whatnot, and basically telling someone that he's been thinking about how he can continue and what if he's gotta die, and he can't do none but get what I deserve, man. He also admits here that he's an utter bullcrapper. Axolip also threatened to not only off himself here, but his own family. But let's be real here, he doesn't have the balls or knowledge to use a gun. All this homunculus can do is lie, loudmic, and chat pack, and he's terrible at those 3 too. And here he's saying that he's going to overdose on 500 grams of crystal meth. That right there is no pocket change, and according to this graph, it would cost him over $3,000. And the dose is like 0.25 grams. Axolip is not doing all that. He's out here talking about 500 grams like he's ordering flour from a grocery store. Matter of fact, where do you even get this amount just casually, especially in Iran? He clearly has no clue what he's saying. Sure, why not? Let's just overdose on enough meth to make a small city turn into those Resident Evil Ganados. Think about it, 2,000 doses just for his scrawny ass. Then he lied about going to the military and instantly backed out. The freaking military, this dude, the same guy who thinks 500 grams of meth is a snack pack, the guy who forged retinal scans, the guy who said he can do 40,000 push-ups if they're, special push-ups? At this point, even his own imaginary backstory doesn't believe him. The thing is, right after he posted this, see y'all on the other side nonsense, knowing damn well he meant the other side of the Discord login screen, like not even a day after he was back in town being the attention-whoring drama queen he is, he treats this crap the same way toddlers treat "I'm running away from home." Then there's him faking cancer, of course, then claiming he can bench 200 kilograms while having broken tendons and cancer. I don't think I even have to explain this, dude. And he doesn't even specify the tendons. Which tendons, dude? Like all of them? All of the tendons? Then him attention seeking again. This guy is such a pathological liar, man. I know I'm going to say this multiple times, but he is genuinely one of the biggest frauds I have ever had first-hand experience with. Oh boy. Moving on from the segment, he tried to dox me by paying someone. According to this screenshot, the price ranged from around $10,000 to $100,000, which is dumb already. But then Axolip turned off his brain and said he's gonna double whammy, he's gonna pay $200,000 instead. And as we know, I have not been doxxed, so this was an utter fail, and he most definitely got scammed. This guy actually just gave me more aura by failing to dox me after paying God knows how much. You could have bought a house, you could have bought 2 houses, you could have bought a small island. Actually, don't do the island part for obvious reasons. You'll see. You'll definitely see. He also asked for money from his own former friends, which is apparently in relation to this attempt at doxing, and they never got their money back even after he said he'll pay them, which is why he gets called a scammer. The thing is, he doubled the price than it already is. Who the hell negotiates against themselves? There's something else he lies about, and this one really pisses me off. That's lying about his theological belief. For starters, I pointed out that he's never said the Shahada and couldn't say the Shahada in VC. What was his response? That you only say the Shahada if you're going to die, and then had the chutzpah to say that every Muslim is going to agree with him. You speak for every Muslim now? You know, you couldn't even speak the Shahada when asked. If you asked 10 Muslims that question, 20 of them would say you're an idiot. Also, for those who don't know, you literally say the Shahada to become a Muslim. So no, Axo pedo. The Ummah don't lay on their deathbeds and say, oh well, time to just clock in, then say the Shahada. He also disrespected Islam numerous times in the past, and as much as you could argue that this is the past, it's also not too long ago that not only did he disrespect Islam and Muslims, saying a bunch of insults and even renaming himself to F-word Muslims, insert insult here. In addition to this, he declared himself as a Satanist and that he's dropping Islam. Of course, he's quickly retracted his statement afterwards and said that he was just mad, or that we're twisting the context, that we're the wannabe Muslims, that stuff, yada yada, you know the excuses. Despite the fact that everything he said is crystal clear. And before you asked, he did all of this for an online girl named Star. She'll play an important role in Axolip's expose later in this video. Anyways, according to this clown, every Muslim on the planet becomes a hypocrite or fake the second they open Discord. Okay, so Allah's judgment apparently depends upon if you're offline or online, and he somehow thinks he has the authority to decide that. I do not understand how this guy has this large of an ego. He also calls himself not a real Muslim. These are his words, by the way. I think it's that he can't defend himself, so he just decided to drag everyone into the mud with him, because his deranged ass, in the midst of claiming he's Muslim, decided to make a weird roleplay scenario where the shaitan is basically sexually assaulting someone's mother. I'm calling the Iranian police. This can't go on. Does this guy have an ounce of fear of Allah? The fact that he could write this while calling himself Muslim tells you everything. But you know how he acts all macho and badass with his nonsensical alpha male podcast quotes? You know, you got this picture of him here grabbing his jacket like he's Bane. He's actually doing that, by the way. He self-inserts as Bane because I self-insert as Batman. It really seems he kinda contradicts himself when we look at his degeneracy in DMs, revealing the real Axolip behind the ego cosplay. We'll dive into his true demonic self after this. Go ahead and look at this compilation.
What is this Diddy Blood doing on a calculator? Is Blood Einstein? What is this Diddy Blood doing on a calculator? Is Blood Epstein? What is Blood doing with those numbers? Is he tongue Sahar? Or is he a sus women's? Or an anti-furry making base dark memes? Wait, I think I know what he's typing now. Wait, 6, 7? What is this Diddy Blood doing on the calculator? Is Blood Einstein? What is this Diddy Blood doing on the calculator? Is Blood Epstein?
To all my haters, don't mess with me. I am an alpha among you betas. I have been through immense pain and suffering. In high school, everyone was so scared of me I got my own light table. At midnight I go in a forest and howl with the wolves. I am better than you.
Now here is where he really hits rock bottom. Axolip, aka Benjamin Pakdaman, is an Epstein-Ahh Blud. Let me explain. So right off the bat, I'm going to start with his age. He's posted his birth certificate online multiple times, but you know I can't show that here. But what it says is 1386 23rd of Shahrivar, which I think would be 14 September 2007. So he is currently 18. If you're Iranian watching this video, comment down below if you confirm this. Now, you remember that Star girl I mentioned, right? She was a 14-year-old groomed by Axolip. As you can see here, Axolip knew she was 14 and then thought he was slick pretending that he is 13, which is complete baloney. So he was lying to this 14-year-old about being 13 and then had sexual relations with her. We can see here where he's talking about his Forsaken fetishes and latex that he near constantly talks about, because his porn melted brain can't think of anything other than this crap. She also joined a server being confused about Axolip's age. This was before everything got leaked. I'm gonna give you a moment to take in the crap he's saying here to this minor named Star. But not only did he groom Star, a 14-year-old, He admitted to it. As you can see here, it's literally right there, it's blatant. The question is, and I quote, "So you do admit you did knowingly attempt to groom her, knowing the age gap was wrong, as per the fact you were deceptive about both your age and your relationship status with her?" Then he affirmed this by saying, "Yeah, that's fine, this one's my fault." He then proceeded to say that he doesn't know what's wrong with him and that we need to listen. And when we did listen, he said he needed help. So when we told him to get off the internet, go talk to therapists, and get professional help, did he listen? No, obviously freaking not. He's never quitting the internet. As a matter of fact, after he sees this video, he's going to eternally seethe in a server with like 6-7 mentally deficient supporters. Also, when he was asked the motivation for why he did this, his first excuse was that she had a crush on him and that he couldn't bear to reject her and break her heart, so he grooms her instead? Brilliant, man. What a brilliant guy. And of course, a few weeks after, he tried to take this back and say that her birth certificate is fake. Although I can't show the certificate here, I actually debated him upon this, and the summary is basically that he played skeptic the whole time. I think I could release this conversation in my Odyssey channel. Let me know down below, and I'll put it either in the description or in the comment. The thing is that he kept fundamentally misunderstanding US document rules. The birth certificate she showed was multilingual, and it's common in some countries with the European Union. He kept saying that a foreign birth certificate must be printed fully in English to be valid in the US, which is factually wrong because the USCIS only requires a certified English translation when you submit a foreign document, so the original can be in any language or in multiple languages. He also said she immigrated, so the certificate itself should have been fully translated into English. The certificate itself doesn't, because the translation and certificate of origin are separate, and you can keep the certificate of origin. You require a verified English translation when you engage formally with the USCIS or other formal US organizations. The translation is not a replacement, but would be a legal companion document. He also said it's not allowed in the US, so his final argument contradicted the actual law. I pointed this out with receipts. He had nothing left but, it's vague. Even though a translation is a separate certified paper and not a replacement of the foreign government's original document. And he was just playing skeptic without being basis, like, it looks vague, why is there English? I researched, but I think yada yada. Though I used exactly what sources have the authority upon this. He also constantly moved the goalpost and appealed to ignorance. Funny thing is, in the middle of the debate, he attempted to prove that Star's birth certificate is fake via some website that basically tricks you into buying their crappy subscription by showing you exactly the image you're searching, but oh, you have to pay to open the link. And I knew exactly this was baloney because I decided to make a brand new image that no one has created before or released onto the internet. Guess what? It was there, but oh, you must pay to access the link. You can even try it for yourself. Here's the link of this website. Also, Axocook's dumbass in the middle of the debate bought the subscription and only proved my point that it's a rug pull. He also suddenly wanted to stop the debate and started babbling about how he quote-unquote changed while simultaneously dodging what grooming he did, which was a completely useless move. We know exactly what he did. The second excuse he had for this instance of grooming is that she quote-unquote used him or lied to him. Even if she pretended to be 14, which she didn't, you still pretended to be 13 and you were being sexual to someone you thought was 14, and so you admitted. So this excuse is just completely dumb. Actually, every single one of his excuses are. Moving on, he also groomed someone by the name of Affy, who was 14 years old at the time. The really disturbing part about this one is that there was a period of time where most people thought this was debunked. This is because he paid Affy, the victim here, to say this was all a haha funny prank he pulled on everyone and that it didn't really happen. The excuse itself makes zero sense as the situation beforehand went on for a while. Actually, Axolip even at one point even admitted in my DMs that he was romantically involved but didn't do anything sexual. As you can see in these screenshots, both in my DMs and in Affy's DMs. Funny enough, one of his excuses is that he was forced to groom Affy. Gonna give you a second to take these in. He knew Affy was 14 during the time of these screenshots, even if we grant nothing sexual happened. Grooming isn't limited to sexual favors, so these excuses suck, and the first one is a blatant lie. As here you can see that Affy informed me that Axolip paid him to say it was a haha funny joke, both in DMs and when Axopedo was getting hoed in his trial. Matter of fact, there was one point where Affy went to fake suicide to avoid this pedophile. That's how far this went. Axolip also was constantly asking for Affy to come back and come live with him. So yeah, this guy's full of baloney. Paying people off to keep their mouths shut about him is also a pathetic and cowardly move, even from this guy. Actually, he even attacked Affy at a period of time, saying that he was only pretending to be gay to ruin him. Ruin a 14-year-old? You need to go to jail, alright? Axolip also at one point pretended to have dated someone by the name of Nina, and claimed they broke up because she was 14. This is an obvious lie, as Nina herself denies ever dating him and actually proved so that he came into her DMs and that she blocked him a day after. I assume he probably said this to save himself the embarrassment and make himself look righteous. Though he pretended to be a minor in her DMs, 13 years old actually. He admitted he wanted to ask her out, asked strangely about her boyfriend, meaning he insisted on being with her. This is a clear grooming attempt, as he lied about his age, Kank. Luckily, this person blocked him in time. Good for her. Now for the rusty nails in Axolip's coffin. This absolute moron apparently fell for a decoy, putting his degeneracy to the test. Just so you know, I was not involved in this decoy situation here, but I'm going to provide you with this information either way. The DM started normally between Axolip and Jayla. Axolip stated his age is 17, Jayla stated her age is 14, which isn't the decoy's actual age, by the way. Actually, multiple people were in the account at the time. Axolip mentions it should be fine as long as we don't get into sexual stuff. Probably out of fear of being clipped, and you'll see why. Then they had a conversation about communities and her past with her boyfriend, but Axolip out of nowhere mentions that she's indirectly trying to ask him out for some reason. But the following conversation continued with Axolip asking if she's available to a VC, and then talking about her past with relationships. Then Benjamin Pokemon asks to see when her birthday is, so he can check how much age gap they actually got. Now, this is where things went downhill as soon as he started getting comfortable. They exchanged birthdays and Axolip said that he could get her nitro, then boom, all of a sudden Axolip starts talking about his, of course, latex fetish, and starts getting freaky up in the decoy's DMs. For a second, he actually did get scared, asking for a face pic in case this is a setup. Myth went into the decoy's account and sent a fake voice message of moaning that he had an MP3 of. He sent himself an email and picked up the audio with his phone while he was logged into the account. Afterwards, the decoy says that she's 13. Guess what Axopedo does? He says that he is 13 as well, that he was lying about his age and not to tell anybody for obvious reasons. The grooming tactics here are very clear. You can take a gander at these screenshots before I show you the money here. The money here is that he actually decided to send a freaking voice message basically exposing himself and sealing the deal. disgusting, bro. Any excuse this guy throws will not work. There's a second voice message, but I'm not sure if I can show that here, so I'll spare your ears, but you get the point. Even this single one just completely exposes him. The team that was managing the decoy's account couldn't handle Axolip's horniness and pedophilia anymore, and blocked him, already had the evidence needed. Then, the great panic of Benjamin Pedodaman started. He was rapidly DMing the account on his alt, obviously stressed out. Now he immediately made up two excuses for this. First one is that he was in VC with his friend Lane. Well, more on him later, by the way. Who's 15 and that he let his friend talk to Jayla. But this is obviously false as his voice message is right there, and he went to delete it as well, thinking that he's slick. The evidence is right there. His second excuse is that he DM'd Valia, who completely denies this excuse because he only DM'd her after the whole thing happened. Matter of fact, he went to gift her nitro, probably as hush money, but oh no, that won't work this time. So this excuse is buns as well. Not only does he like to groom minors, but extort them and send CP as well. You see, Safi is 17, right? This guy Kakyamin Pedodaman decided that it would be a wonderful idea to go in his and Lane's server and threaten to make her cut herself and do much worse. Not entirely sure what he meant by that though. His account got termed, by the way. After a while of threatening to extort, he actually went to leak an image of Safi's cleavage and told everyone to DM her for nudes, which is literally CP displaying his utter degenerate pedophilia once again. But you wouldn't believe what one of his defenders said to make an excuse of this. He asked AI if sending an image of breasts is porn, and what it said doesn't even apply to this segment of the video. My God, is utter desperation and cope. So Axolip is not only known for lying about himself, but others as well. For example, after his server got nuked, he got so mind-broken he went on a funny schizophrenic episode saying that he's going to expose me, Myth, and Conqueror. Basically throwing a bunch of allegations on us, including pedophilia, but of course, he never started this so-called expose. Here's him going on a delusional rant about me sending CP, sending dick pics and butt booty naked pics to minors, saying Bingus aka Cozy Boo is 13 and trans, accused Punisher, a Muslim, of insulting Islam and an alt, and that he's going to make a stage. He never made the stage, and obviously never sent any evidence for any of the baloney he said, because this loser, who has a deficiency in the head, once again spoke out of his greasy ass. The greasy ass has spoken. When his little goon here, who's some atheist debater who hates Islam, Christianity, and other religions, asked if they could send the evidence, Axolip conveniently said, "No bro, we'll get it reported." Despite the fact that there are numerous ways to avoid this, he also projected his fetish on me for some reason, saying that I LARP it. He pinged these two individuals who literally said nothing to this random ass announcement, Keck. That's how you know this is baloney. Here's his goon accusing Myth and Conqueror too. Most likely if he ever drops the evidence, it'll be forged because he did this to Trop. As you can see here, he claims that he got his whole intel and dropped screenshot of this mysterious censored individual saying that Trop asked for nudes. He then excused this by saying it's someone named Hatsune who's long left the Discord application, the app that Kakyamin literally can't live without. In actuality, all he does is sit there in his server announcements coping near constantly and lolcowing himself for all to laugh at. Here's him saying an empty threat like, "Oh, you guys just wait until I really do something, mess with the bull and you'll get the horns. Maybe. I'll expose you guys. One day. I think." Here's a corny ass dialogue where he basically says he's Superman and that we're really gonna get it from the Iranian Super Puparkak himself. Shut up, you pedophile bitch, you're not untouchable. Anytime he starts losing supporters, he will legitimately beg and even pay people to help him debate, pack, and give him products that are basically Discord gadgets. And he actually goes and pays for it like the irredeemable loser he is. Here's him begging for some guy to come help him only to get called a fraud, which is really funny. But then he said he'll pay him, so this guy eventually did join his server. Still funny how even his supporters are aware of how full of raisin this guy is. Additionally, this is pretty recent, albeit he got lolcowed so much that he tried to deny that this is his face, even though he literally went on camera for people to see with his voice. He tried to claim that he's this guy, who he found on Pinterest, but as he found out about that, he tried to say that this is his Pinterest account. Buddy, this is not your Pinterest account, hop off. Last but not least, don't waste your time.
Alright, anything else?
You said you're Persian?
Yeah, I'm Persian, yeah.
Last but not least, don't waste too much time on this dude, directly. Simply make sure you spread awareness about him in communities you're within, and that he's a degenerate that does not deserve any platform whatsoever. That's about it for today. See ya.